Welcome to Friday Flip on the Becoming You Again podcast. Every Friday, I take your divorce problems, conundrums, and questions and do a quick flip around to empower you to show up as the best you after divorce.
Today's question is from Kay. She says, I don't miss my ex at all, but I do get sad around the holidays because we're not a family anymore. I can see some progress over the last few years since the divorce, but the sadness still hits me hard. How do I make this feeling go away completely? I'm tired of it. Thanks for your question, Kay. This is a great question because I think so many of us really don't like feeling negative emotion, especially sadness. So when we do feel it, we want it to go away for good. There's a couple of things I'll say here. The first is, it makes sense that you feel sad around the holidays because you're telling yourself that you're not a family anymore. When you believe that your family is broken in some way because of your divorce, you're going to feel sad. I have a whole podcast on why the holidays hurt and what you can do to stop feeling so much sadness and hurt around the holidays. So if you haven't listened to that episode, it's episode number 68. I would recommend you go listen to it because I go in depth about this topic and I offer some tips that are going to help you as you go through the holidays. The second thing I want to address is this idea of making the sadness stop completely. I'm going to be the bearer of some news right now that you may not want to hear, but you will never be able to outrun feeling sad. You can never do enough self-evolution, you can never have enough self-love, or give of yourself enough to stop feeling negative emotion. And the reason why is because you are a human. Humans feel emotions. It is part of our existence. It's really, truly what makes us special and unique. If you didn't feel negative emotion, then you would only feel positive emotions. But the problem with only feeling positive emotions is that you wouldn't have the contrast. And so if you don't know what sadness feels like, then you don't know what happiness feels like, right? And so without the contrast, you would only be feeling positive emotions, but you wouldn't understand that the positive emotions feel good. So basically, you would just feel nothing. You would feel neutral all the time. And that would make us more like robots. Because robots don't have the capacity as machines to feel emotions like humans do. And the third thing that I want to add here is the reason we don't want to feel negative emotions any longer, like sadness or shame or anxiety, is because we spend so much energy trying to resist feeling it that we make it feel heavier and harder and more intense than it actually does. When if we would just open ourselves up to actually feeling the sadness and letting it be a part of us, a part of our day, come along with us, then that heaviness and that intensity would diminish considerably and you would just have some sadness and then it would pass. This is what happens when you learn to process through your emotions, and this is a skill. Again, I do have another podcast episode where you can learn to process your emotions, but the more you do it, the better you get at it. You are capable of feeling sadness. Your body actually knows what to do with it. And it doesn't have to be your favorite thing to feel, but I promise you, you are capable of feeling it. All right, Kay, thanks again for your question. I'll be back next week.
That's your Friday Flip. Stay tuned for the weekly podcast episode that comes out every Monday. And remember, if you want more one-on-one help from me as your divorce coach to help you create an even better life than when you were married, then you need to schedule your free consult with me by going to www.karennelsoncoaching.com. Remember, that's Karen with an I.